I want to talk a little bit about your record as governor, Governor Inslee. During your 2 terms in office, there have been several high-profile instances of mismanagement at state agencies under your watch. This includes, as Chief CULP mentioned, the decertification of Western State Hospital and the loss of more than $50 million per year in federal funds. It also includes, more recently, the mass unemployment fraud that we have seen that went undetected at the start of the coronavirus crisis, costing the state hundreds of millions of dollars. Given these kinds of lapses, why should voters have faith in your ability to competently manage the state for the next 4 years?
Because I care about them and I want to do everything humanly possible to help them. And the frustrations with the unemployment compensation difficulties are profound and sincere, and I feel them as much as, or more maybe, as people who are suffering them. Well, not more. But look what happened here. Natural disasters can destroy buildings, they can destroy agencies' capability to respond in a timely fashion. That is fundamentally what happened here. The number of claims went up by a factor of 10 overnight. Now that's kind of like 700,000 people showing up at the Husky Stadium that seats 70,000. These lines developed, and we have been moving heaven and earth to get people's checks to them who are entitled. Now it takes time to figure out who's entitled. We've hired 1,300 people. We've brought in the National Guard. They've done a great job. We've done new technology. And in the midst of that, these criminals of a sophisticated international ring attacked us just like they attacked other states, and they made off net with about 2%. But I'm pleased that 98% of those dollars went to deserving Washingtonians. And I'm happy that we've reduced the people who are waiting from the hundreds of thousands to a few thousands. And we are determined to do everything humanly possible to get those folks dollars. They need it. We've expanded workers' comp and unemployment. We want to help them. We have had moratoriums on evictions, and thank you.
Yeah. Chief CULP, I want to ask you a little bit about your background in management. You currently manage a police department of 1 person, yourself, and at its peak under your leadership as chief, I believe your department had 2 officers, including you. I am wondering, since you are a police chief in a town of 1,100 people, what makes you qualified to lead a state with 7.6 million residents and more than 68,000 state employees?
I appreciate that question. And as I said earlier, I'm not running to be the leader of everyone's family. I'm not running to be the leader of your business. I'm not running to be the leader of you. You, the citizens, will be the leaders of yourself, your family, and your business. I will be the governor that understands the servant role of the governor, and I will run the executive branch of the state government, and you will run your business and your life. That's the way it should be. That's the way a public servant should act. And this governor wants to tie me to things that he thinks that President Trump has done wrong. Well, and what did he call us? Called people that come to my rallies Trumpians? Is that the new deplorables, Governor? These are thousands of Washington citizens that come out to my rallies. These are people that care about their state from all over this state, from King County to Spokane County, from Ferry County down to Klickitat County. These are Washington citizens, and I'm hearing from them by the thousands every single day. And they don't like what's going on in this state. They want a servant government back, one that will stay within the confines of the Constitution and the rule of law.
I'm going to ask you each one quick question because we don't have much time at all. Chief CULP, you often talk about how we have a mental health problem and a drug problem, not a homelessness problem. But you also are saying you will not raise the state budget, you will not increase spending to, possibly address these problems. How would you invest in mental health and drug treatment if you are promising to cut the state budget?
I never said we don't have a housing problem, but it's not all about homes. This is about a mental health and addiction problem. We are already spending and wasting millions and millions of dollars across the state on mental health and drug addiction programs that are not working. I know of one, I toured one down in Longview not too long ago, that went from single-digit success rate to 76% success rate by taking less state funding and making their own rules.
I should have warned you, Chief CULP. We didn't have 45 seconds on this one.
15 seconds? Okay.
Yeah. I would like to hear from your campaign what that Longview program is, because I have not been able to actually get an answer on specifically what it is. Governor, we don't really have any more time, but I want to ask you very, very quickly. You had promised in previous campaigns that you would, you said taxes were not the right direction for our state when you ran in 2012. Do you anticipate tax increases will be necessary? Just answer in 20 seconds.
Well, you can't make that decision now. We have to look at the economic circumstances that we have in December. I will propose a balanced budget at that moment. I will protect health care. I will protect those who are most needy. I'll protect women who have choice right now that the Republicans want to take away. By the way, I also protect those from gun violence. And gun safety, we have not talked about tonight. But I've heard Chief CULP talk about law and order. He's a law and order person. I'm sure he believes he is. I don't understand why he refuses to force the constitutional law that has been upheld that protects us from gun violence, from bump stocks.
We have to stop on
All right, gentlemen, we're out of time for questions. We got to move on to closing statements. We want to make sure you have time to wrap up your thoughts. Mr. CULP, we're going to have you go first. You just have 1 minute for closing statements, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. And just to cover what the governor just talked about, gun violence, right? Just like I said, he wants to focus the blame on something other than what it is. We don't have gun violence problem in this state or in this country. We have criminal violence problem. We need to focus on the criminals and put them in jail and in prison where they belong. And we need a governor that will quit releasing prisoners, convicted felons, violent felons, from our prison system and putting them back on the streets, back in our communities where they reoffend. You know, he released almost 1,000 of them because the state courts told him that he had to come up with a plan to keep prisoners safe from COVID in the prison system. And instead of coming up with a plan and keeping these violent felons in our state prisons, he said, open the gate, let them out. And then you add that to the 3,000 or 4,000 that were released not too long ago because of they said that it was a glitch in the Department of Corrections software that the governor knew about but didn't fix. 2 murders have happened because of that. And people have reoffended and are back in our jails and in our prisons because this governor is soft on crime and doesn't care about the citizens' safety.
All right, Governor Inslee, your closing statement, 1 minute.
Thank you. By the way, I have nothing against Republic. My grandmother was born there on April 4th, 1904. But I am against going backwards in our effort to build this state. We have shown profound progress in education, some of the best education in the state's history, profound progress in healthcare. We have demonstrated the ability to build a great economy. And now we can still do that, and I'm confident that we can return to those days. But first, we have to knock down this virus. We know that the key to opening up our economy ultimately is to reduce the number of people who are affected by this virus. And to do that, we do have to have leadership. We can't ignore this. We have to have a governor who will help people understand the science behind math and will understand the help to help businesses recovery, as we are doing right now. So I tell you, I'm excited about the prospects of leading this state. I'm confident. I believe bold, decisive leadership works. It has worked, and I hope it continues, and I'd be honored by your vote. Thank you very much.
Well, that is the end of the debate.
Yeah, we thank all of you for joining us for this debate, and Melissa's going to bring us out here.
Yes, that is the end of the debate. Thank you to the candidates for this discussion of the issues in the campaign for governor.
Our next debate is in a couple of weeks. It's on October 22nd. It's in the race for lieutenant governor between Denny Heck and Marco Lee.
And we want to thank our lead sponsor, AARP of Washington. Tonight's debate organized by the Washington State Debate Coalition and its founders, Seattle's City Club.
Ballots will be mailed to voters over the next 10 days and must be postmarked returned by 8 p.m. Tuesday, November 3rd. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Good night from the TVW studios in Olympia. And please, everyone, make sure to vote.